Hey, working on problem 8-43, solving and graphing the following inequalities. This comes from 7.3.4. It was the last one from chapter 7. A very difficult kind of thought and process and stuff. So totally understand why anybody would be struggling with this one. So when we're talking about this problem in there, we tried to put our focus towards when we see this x minus 9 less than 17. For just a moment, we are going to just pause and not even acknowledge or care that it is an inequality. Now, as a reminder, this symbol is indicating that it is an inequality because that symbol is less than, greater than, less than, equal to, greater than, equal to, etc. So how about just for this then, let's just do this. Let's just do an x minus 9 equals 17. And then in there, we also talked about how we would find our answer for x, right? What is that value for x? And so we would want to do what we call the opposite operation. And since it is a minus 9, that opposite operation is plus 9. So we take that 17, we add that 9, and then we're going to get 26. So that x equals 26. Now we did all that work, right? And for right now, this is a good way for us to talk about how to do these types of problems. But as you get older and better with these types of problems, you'll start to do more with this. And there's little tricks and little things here or there for us to worry about. But anyway, we would then say we're going to go back to that inequality sign. So what we'll do is we're going to write it as x is less than, not 17, Mr. Crone. That's what I was reading up above, but the 26. Okay. So when we graph that, the graph is something like this. I generally like to put in the 0, and then I always like to just put in the number. It doesn't matter where the number is, right? So there's my 26. Okay, so now what, right? What does the graph look like? Well, if x actually equaled 26, we would put a big dot there. That's it. Done with our graph. But we have a less than in this case, so we don't have to just focus on that equal sign. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick numbers on both sides of the 26 just to test, just to see if this works. So for example, let's try 0. Let's try that 0. Let's go back and we're going to plug 0 back in, and what we'll do is we'll have back to our original part, and we're like 0 minus 9 less than 17. This is more of a question mark right now. Is that true? So 0 minus 9 is negative 9. Is that less than 17, right? That's our question. And the answer is yes, it is. Yes, yes, yes. So if it is, it would seem to indicate that we want to kind of shade where that 0 is. But for just a second, let's stop and let's try a number greater than 26. Let's try 30. Let's take 30, we'll subtract 9, and let's see what happens. 30 minus 9 is 21. Is 21, again, big question mark, is it less than 17? The answer is no. So don't shade that side of that, right? So let's go back, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to use this, and that's the side you would shade. And what that tells me is that's the direction we need to go. And what it is it's all the answers that work for this inequality. If you were to try 10 minus 9 is 1 less than 17. Yes, 10 works. If you were to try 15 minus 9 is 6 less than 17. Yes, that works. Somewhere in there is that 15. We don't know. Is negative 10 in here? Negative 10 minus 9. Now, you might not be great with your negatives and subtraction and stuff, but that would be negative 19. Is negative 19 less than 17? Yes, that works. So all of these numbers in that green area on our number line make us happy and give us a big fat yes. Okay? Everything on the other side is a no. Now, one additional part to add to that is the fact of we need to check 26. Okay, that's the last thing for us to check. Now 26 minus 9, is it less than 17? Should have used a different color, right? 26 minus 9 is 17. Is 17 less than 17? The answer is no. So we can't include 26, which would normally have a big solid dot. So what we do is we put an open dot there. It's a big open dot, right? And you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to fix this just for a second to clarify that. There we go. See how I put that open dot there? Now it's a little bit more obvious. So that open dot says we can't use 26, but we're going to use all the other numbers that lead up to 26 and is below 26. Okay, so that was a really in-depth explanation for A. We do the exact same thing for B and the exact same thing for C. Okay, so B, man, I'd really like to eliminate this, but I don't want to. I'm going to try to write really small. How about that? Just to help us along here. So we have the x plus 12 is less than or equal to 6, right? And what we're going to do is we are going to do that inverse, right? So 6 minus 12, that's 6 minus 12. Oh, using on our number line, 6 going backwards 12 or to the left 12 would lead us to, I think, a negative 6, right? Right. So is x less than or equal to negative 6? So we would graph that. And I'd just put my 0 and I'd put my negative 6. And we're going to test numbers on both sides of 6. I love, which I did here in this problem, I love checking 0 first. 0 just seems so much easier for me to do. So I'm just going to write way down at the bottom there. Is 0 plus 12, is it less than or equal to 6? That's a question mark, right? 0 plus 12 is 12. Is 12 less than or equal to 6? The answer is no. It doesn't appear right now that we would want to shade that side. Right, we don't want to shade that side. So let's try a different number. Let's try one on the other side of negative 6. I like picking nice numbers. I'm just going to, man, this is super, super convenient. I'm just going to do a negative 10, like down there in the bottom, huh? Negative 10 plus 12, right? Negative 10 plus 12, that would be negative 10, moving to the right, 12. That gets me to 2, right? Is 2 less than or equal to 6? The answer is yes. There we go. So we need to shade this side of there, right? And of course now, as I told you before, we have to check negative 6. Let's check negative 6. All right, and let's see what we get. All right, it is still a question mark, right? Negative 6, and this negative 6 plus 12. Negative 6 plus 12 is 6. Is 6 less than or equal to 6? The answer is yes. Yes, it is. So what do? We put a solid dot. Notice the difference between A and B. Okay, I'm going to let you try C on your own. Please let me know if they have anything else that you need help with. Great question.